Hi everybody, welcome to the Giraffes TV channel, and again this afternoon we're going to read another story together with my friend Miko. You say hi, Miko. Hi, there he goes, lovely. Right, so we get the book ready and read it to the children. Here we go then, are you ready? Oops, I've only got 10% battery, do you think we're going to get through? I don't know either. Oh, let's give it a little try. Here we go then. Through the school bus window, Yoon Hai looked at the strange buildings and houses on the way to her new school. It was her first day and she was both nervous and excited. I'm not surprised to get nervous when you go to a new school, don't you? Yeah. She fingered the little block of wood in her pocket and remembered leaving her grandmother at the airport in Korea. Wow! Korea? It's far away, isn't it? Yeah. Her grandmother had wiped away Yoon Hai's tears and handed her an ink pad and a small red satin pouch. Your name is inside, she said. My name? Yoon Hai had wondered. Again, she took out the red pouch to look at the wooden block with her name carved in it. As she ran her fingers along the grooves and ridges of the Korean characters, she pictured her grandmother's smile. Oh, no, I know, it's lovely. Is that thing for show and tell? A boy asked Yoon Hai, surprising her. Yoon Hai looked up as more kids leaned over. No, it's mine, Yoon Hai answered, quickly putting the pouch back in her pocket. Are you new here? What's your name? A girl asked. Yoon Hai, said Yoon Hai. Nay? The girl asked, scrunching up her face. Nay, some kids chanted. No, Yoon Hai corrected. It's spelled Unhey. It's pronounced Yoon Hai. Oh, it's Yoo-Hey, the boys said. Like you, hey. What about hey you? They've been a bit rude, aren't they? What do you think? Oh. Just then, the bus pulled up to the school and the doors opened. Yoon Hai hurried to get off. Yoo-Hey, bye-bye, the kids yelled as she left. Yoon Hai felt herself blush. Do you know what that means? Well, blushing means that her cheeks went a bit red. I think she was a bit embarrassed. I know. Bad, isn't it? Oh, man. Wonder what happened next. Yoon Hai stood in the doorway of her new and noisy classroom. She was relieved that the kids on the bus had gone to other rooms, but her face still felt red. Aren't you going in? Asked a curly-haired boy with lots of dots on his face. You're the new girl, right? He asked cheerfully. Yoon Hai nodded, and before she could walk away, the boy took her hand and pulled her through the door. Oh, he sounds like a nice boy, doesn't he? Yeah? Here's the new girl, he announced so loudly that the teacher, Mr. Kokotus, almost dropped his glasses. Mr. Kokotus thanked him and greeted Yoon Hai. Please welcome our newest student, he said to the class. She and her family just arrived from Korea last week. Yoon Hai smiled broadly and tried not to show her nervousness. What's your name? Someone shouted. Yoon Hai pictured the kids on the bus. I haven't picked one yet. That's a strange thing to say, isn't it? She told the class. But I'll let you know by next week. Whoa. Mr. Kokotus showed her to the desk. She felt many round, curious eyes on her. Why doesn't she have a name? She heard someone whisper. Maybe she robbed a bank in Korea and needs a new identity. A boy replied. I'm sure that's not right. What do you think? No. On the bus home, nobody teased her, but Yoon Hai kept thinking about her name. How was school, Yoon Hai? Her mother asked when she walked in. Did you understand the teacher? Yoon Hai simply nodded. She packed a school bag and set the red pouch by a photograph of her grandma. I'm glad you are learning English well, her mother said. You must study hard, behave nicely, and get good grades to show that you're a good Korean. I will, replied Yoon Hai. But I think I would like my own American name, she said quickly. Her mother looked at her with surprise. Why? Yoon Hai is a beautiful name. Your grandma and I went to a name master for it. What? I wonder what one of those is. Don't know. But it's hard to pronounce, Yoon Hai complained. I don't want to be different from all the American kids. You are different, Yoon Hai, her mother said. That's a good thing. Yoon Hai just wrinkled her nose. Can you wrinkle your nose? Oh, you better stop. That's a bit of an effort, wasn't it? Yeah, it's because your nose is so high. Don't worry about it. It's okay. Later that day, Yoon Hai and her mother went grocery shopping in their new neighbourhood. They passed Fadil's Falafel, Tony's Pizza and Dot's Deli. A big graffiti-painted garbage truck roared like a lion as it took off down the street. Nothing sounded or looked familiar. Until they got to Kim's Market. The sign was both in English and Korean. That's good, isn't it? It means that she might recognise where she is. Should we see what happens? Okay. Her mother picked up cabbage to make kimchi, Korean-style spicy pickled cabbage, and other vegetables and meat. She also found some seaweed, Yoon Hai's favourite for soup. It made Yoon Hai smile. Just because we've moved to America, her mother said, doesn't mean we stop eating Korean food. That's good, isn't it? At the checkout counter, a friendly man smiled at Yoon Hai. Helping your mother with the shopping? He asked. Yoon Hai nodded. I'm Mr. Kim, he said. And what is your name? Yoon Hai answered. Ah, what a beautiful name, he said. Doesn't it mean grace? Yoon Hai nodded again. My mother and grandmother went to a name master for it, she told him. A graceful name for a graceful girl, Mr. Kim said, as he put her groceries into bags. Welcome to our neighbourhood, Yoon Hai. He sounds like a very nice man, doesn't he? Yes. That evening, Yoon Hai stood in front of the bathroom mirror. My name is Amanda, she said cheerfully. Then she wrinkled her nose. Oh, it's right, don't worry. It's right, she can do it. Okay. Hi, my name is Laura. Maybe not. Her smile turned down. Nothing sounded right. Nothing felt right. I don't think American kids will like me, she worried as she began to brush her teeth. He, namen edsuzi, she said to the mirror, with her mouth full of toothpaste. The next morning, when Eunhai arrived at school, she found a glass jar on her desk with some pieces of paper in it. Eunhai took out and read it aloud. Daisy. That's my baby sister's nickname, but she said you can use it if you want, said Cindy, who sat next to her. Eunhai took out the rest of the paper. Tamela, she read. I got it from a storybook, said Nate. She was smart and brave. Eunhai nodded and unfolded another piece. Wednesday. Yeah, you came here on a Wednesday, said Ralph. Thank you for your help. A smile spread over Eunhai's face. Ralph quickly said, We'll put more names in. You can pick whatever you like. Or pick them all, and you'll have the longest name in history. And if you wonder why it's gone so dark, it looks like we might be in for a thunderstorm. Whoa, it's gone a bit dark, isn't it? Whoa. Gee, willy whiz bang. Let's hope it's going to be okay. At 3 o'clock, the bell rang for the end of the school day. Eunhai looked at the window and saw it was sprinkling. It's the same rain, she thought, but in a different place. She watched other kids leaving in groups. Hey! A familiar voice called out to her. Eunhai turned around to see the curly-haired boy again. I'm Joey, he said. And you? Don't you have any name? Eunhai thought for a moment. Well, I can show you, she said, and took out the small red pouch. She pressed the wooden block on the ink pad and then stamped it on a piece of paper. This is my name stamp, she said. My grandma gave it to me. In Korea, I can use it as a signature when I open a bank account or write a letter. And whenever I miss my grandma, I use it to fill a piece of paper. Want to try it? She offered the stamp to Joey, and he carefully inked the stamp and pressed it hard on the paper. The red characters gleamed against the whiteness. Wow, that's beautiful, Joey said. Can I keep the paper? Sure, Eunhai said. And then the two of them shared her umbrella as they walked to the school bus. And do you know what? In a minute, the people out there are going to need an umbrella because I think we're in for a thunderstorm. Wow. Yeah, it's looking pretty bad out there. Gosh. Anyway, should we see how far we get? Okay. Every day, the jar got fuller with more names, and Eunhai read them all. She found a few names she liked. Miranda, Stella, Avery. They sounded interesting. I hope you choose the name I put in, Marco told her at snack time. I put in 3 more, said Ralph. Madison, Park and Lex. They're my favourite names. Can you see what they're doing? Yeah, they're putting their favourite names in, aren't they, to see if she'll like them? Maybe You should close your eyes and draw a name, Rosie suggested. Ralph frowned. That's silly. What if she doesn't like the name she draws? Well, we didn't get to choose our names when we were born, did we? Rosie argued. Everyone thought about this. Interesting. When Yunhai got home from school that day, her little brother ran to give her a letter. It was from Grandma. Yes, she's got a letter from Grandma. That's great, isn't it? Did you just help me pick the book up then? Oh, thanks. Okay, right then. She opened it quickly and it said, "To my Yunhai, I hope you are enjoying your new school and new friends. Be sure to help your mother and your little brother. Here the moon is up, but there the sun is up. No matter how far apart we are, and no matter how different, America is far from Korea. You'll always be my Yunhai, your grandmother forever." Yunhai took out her wooden stamp and filled a paper with it. She thought for a long time in front of the bathroom mirror. That's a good place to think, isn't it? Yeah. On Saturday, I sounded like I was from Birmingham then. On Saturday. Should we do that again? Okay, right. Sorry about that. On Saturday, Yunhai walked to Mr. Kim's store. Mr. Kim was helping a customer, but he looked up and greeted her. "Hi, Yunhai." "Hello, Mr. Kim," Yunhai replied. She felt as if she was back in her old neighbourhood in Korea. "Hey," said the customer, turning around. It was Joey. "Your name is Eunhee?" he asked with his eyes open wide. Yunhai looked quickly at Mr. Kim, then turned to Joey. She nodded slowly. "Yes, it's pronounced Yunhai." "And it means grace," Mr. Kim added. "Yunhai," Joey said, slowly, and this time perfectly. Yes. It made Yunhai smile. "I'll have it ready for you tomorrow," said Mr. Kim to Joey. "Thank you, Mr. Kim. See you Monday, Yunhai," Joey said to her. He left before she could ask him why he was at the store. On Monday, Yunhai came to class early to look at the names one last time. But the jar wasn't on her desk. Instead, there was a single piece of paper. Paper with a name on it. Yunhai slipped it in her pocket. "Where's your name jar?" Ralph asked as soon as he saw it gone. "I don't know," Yunhai said. "It was not on Mr. Kokotis's desk or on any other desk, and it wasn't on the counters or any of the shelves. I wonder where it's gone." As other kids arrived, they helped look. Soon, Mr. Kokotis came in and Ralph shouted at him, "The name jar is gone. The jar with all the names in it." "Gone?" Mr. Kokotis replied, with a look of concern. He asked Yunhai, "Did you get a chance to read all the names?" Yunhai nodded. She took a breath. "I'm ready to introduce myself," she said. Do you think this could be it? Yunhai wrote her name in both English and Korean on the chalkboard. "I like the beautiful names and funny names you thought of for me," she told the class, "but I realised that I liked my name the best, so I chose it again. Korean names mean something. Yunhai means grace. Grace! Grace in high, shouted Ralph. Everyone tried to say it. Nye hai, Yunihi, Unhei. Yunhai said her name again slowly and clearly. Soon the kids began to say it better. Even Mr. Kokotus. They applauded Yunhai's choice. I was named after a flower, Roseby whispered to Yunhai. Lots of American names have meanings too, Mr. Kokotus reminded everyone. When the class was dismissed, Yunhai heard her new friend say goodbye. Bye, Yunhai. See you tomorrow. Goodbye, Yunhai. Yunhai said goodbye and then looked around for Joey, but he was already gone. Yunhai, Yunhai, come downstairs. Mother called up to Yunhai. Your friend is here. Yunhai rushed down to see who she meant. There stood Joey, and in his arms was the name jar. Where did you find it? Said Yunhai breathlessly. Joey looked embarrassed. Well, I took it, but only because I wanted you to keep your own name, and you did. He reached in and pulled out the names. Do you want to keep them? He asked. Thank you. I'll keep them as a souvenir, Yunhai said happily. Then she pulled out the piece of paper from her pocket. Do you want this back? Joey grinned. You can keep it. I'll return the name jars to the class. Maybe you could put some Korean nicknames in it for us. Names with good meanings. I could do that, agreed Yunhai. I've already got a Korean nickname, Joey said. Mr. Kim helped me choose it. Carefully, he pulled a small silver felt pouch from his pocket. Then he took out a dark wooden stamp with beautiful Korean characters carved sharply onto it. He pressed it on the ink pad and then on the piece of paper next to her name. Chinku, read Yunhai. That means friend. And Chinku smiled back. Wow, that's a lovely story. Well, I'm sorry it's gone so dark outside, but it's absolutely pouring with rain. I think we're in for a thunderstorm. So I think we better stop now. Don't you think, Miko? Yeah? Okay. So, shall we say goodbye to the children? Here it goes. Let's say goodbye. Bye. And we'll see you next time.